I would research depression and there would be nothing on depression. You would think the scientists would have that already in hand and for you to know what it is. And you can't even find the information on depression because no one really fully knows what it is. But the people who experience depression, they know what it is. I don't know why they don't talk about it. And maybe there's a lot of people out there that do talk about it, but when you get it, it's like you don't want to share what's going on in your head because it's like you already had enough of what the world already gave to you. And the people who do it, they don't even want to do it most of the time. The people who commit suicide, they don't even want to do it. It's like their life just do a 360 on them. They're not even prepared for the situation that comes at them. And that comes to everybody in the world. Everybody gets a curveball. There's always a curveball that comes around the corner and knocks everybody on their ass all the time. And the people who ain't prepared for it, they'll go through these crazy trials and it'll happen so many times to where they'll get depressed. They'll end up knowing what's happening to them. But the thing is, they can't get out of it. They feel trapped. They feel like there's this sense of hopelessness. So they go to church. They try to find help. They go to therapists to talk, and the therapist might not understand what they're talking about. They'll even go to doctors. They'll get prescribed medication, antidepressants. Antidepressants don't work. And I know that from experience. I've been on many antidepressants and they do not work. Antidepressants, let's like we're in a world where we are supernatural beings in physical bodies, but the supernatural will always be around us. You can't fight pills against the supernatural. It's like fighting a ghost with a gun. It just don't work. So when people have depression, it's an entity that attaches itself to you and it drains you mentally, physically, emotionally, all kind of ways. It'll bring you down to your lowest ways. As soon as your vibration and your frequency is so low to where you're pissed off at everything and everybody, you get upset easily, you're short tempered, that allows this entity to gravitate to you because it's negativity. You're so negative, it's going to gravitate to you. So when it gravitates to you, you'll start to say things in your head too. Be like, oh, you know what? I'm a piece of S. Everybody thinks I'm a piece of S. I don't never do nothing. I'm all this, I'm that. And then when you tell yourself that all the time, you'll start to believe it because you tricked your mind into believing it. This entity makes you do that. It's like an influence. It's like it feeds on that so much. It's like you cannot get away from being angry. You're always pissed off at what happened to you in the past. You never let it go. And it's still gravitating to you. It'll bring up all those things to you. And then you'll start feeling so low. And when they say that, that's when they call it the black pill. The black pill is a trance because like I said, it tells you to hate yourself. It makes you feel like you're nothing. You're in a trance. This thing is a entity. They say it's some kind of chemical imbalance. Nobody goes from being happy to having everything in the world to just being completely depressed and then killing themselves later after that. It makes absolutely no sense. You have to look at people's lives. A lot of people have very interesting lives. I look at other people's lives. You know, it's so interesting what people go through in this world. I don't understand just my life, but other people's lives. And I see what they go through. But this thing, depression, it's an entity. And science hasn't even been able to figure this out. But I believe it's an entity. It's like when this world, before Earth got here, everything was darkness, like just complete darkness, a void of nothing. But within that, I believe there were creatures and all kinds of things in there before God covered it completely with the earth. with humanity, the trees, the light, the mountains, the sunshine and everything. But those creatures never disappeared. They were always here. And those are spiritual entities under the earth, wrapped under the earth. And they still leak. They leak into this world. Eats people alive, man. Inside. And it don't even give you a break. You have no downtime when it comes to depression, because depression comes with a lot of misfortune. As soon as you lose your car and you got something good, you got to find a way to get back on your feet real quick because you got something. But then as soon as you do that, another thing pop up. Something, you got to pay a debt to something that you owe from this way. And then something else happened. You got to, like, bills just come at you left and right, left and right. And then they will bring you down because you're like, damn, I'm one person. I got all this I got to handle. It makes you keep your guard down because you can't figure things out, because you're so depressed. You can't focus. You can't concentrate. You try to focus on things and everything just becomes jumbled together and you just can't get it right. It's so much stacked up on you. If it ain't one thing, it's another. And then another on top of another. And then it'll drain you because you're trying to focus on so many things at once. It's too much on your plate. Depression gravitates to that, man. You got to stay positive through that every time, bro. Like, and no, it seemed bad, bro, but you still alive. You still alive. It don't matter what you're going through. As long as you're still breathing, you still alive. You still got a chance. You got to think about the people who came through this world already, and they ended up in hell because they checked out the game over things as a short-term problem. Problems we go through on this earth are always short-term. There's always a raise and a get up and a recuperated moment. There always is after everyone's trial and suffering. There always is. But people check out without coming across that destiny. This world is hard. I know. Man, this world is tricky. Depression is an entity. It's an entity that gravitates to people who give up easily. I don't think it's just one entity. It got to be a lot of them, because this thing, if you go to the facesofsuicide.com, like, look at that website and look at all those people. Look at all those people. Look at how big those numbers are. I can't even count that. I went through that whole thing and I was looking at all these people's lives, and they died so young. Like, the same things that you're fighting, they fought too. They fought the same thing that you're fighting, and they ended up taking their own lives over it. You can't say that this is not a spiritual warfare, because all of them on the Faces of Suicide, that website, if you look at it, all of them went through that depression state. All of them experienced that depression. And they all did the same or different ways to check out of this world. It just puts you down. It brings you down. It makes you feel like you ain't nothing. And it'll make you feel like you ain't got nobody. That's what depression does. It's a legion. It's a straight legion that's collecting souls, wiping them out, making life harder than it need to be, making everything complicated when it don't need to be. Scientists, the smartest minds in the world, can't even figure this out. Seriously? I've just been, 12 years sober, 12 years, without sex. I've been doing that. It's like me, man. I've been 13 years in my first attempt of suicide. I'm 13 years surviving that. So I know what depression does to people. I know how it brings people down. I know how it sets things up for people to fall into. They fall into these situations left and right. There's so many things going to happen to them left and right. There's so many misfortunes. This depression never leaves them. And depression is a hard ass thing to get rid of. It's a hard thing to get rid of. But But the thing that you can do to fight it is always stay positive. You have to remain positive. I'm telling you, you have to just take it with a smile. Just be like, oh, you know what? We all living life. We trying to enjoy it. You know, you just have to be positive, man. Every time something negative comes to you, you're gonna take it negative back. You're going to take a negative back in your mind, in your soul, in your heart. You're going to receive that negative back. But a lot of people don't want to do it that way. So doing it the opposite way, as receiving it positive and being positive about, like, oh man, it's all good. You know, whatever you're saying about me, it's all good. It's hard for people to do it. And you know why? You know why it's hard for people to do it. Because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. That's why everybody in the world is treating each other the way they are. That's what brings depression a lot. That's what makes depression spread. Look at the numbers that's been growing in the suicide rate, man. Do y'all research. Look at this. Look at do your homework. This thing feeds on hatred. It feeds on your anger. It feeds on everything that you hold a grudge against. It's like you can't let go of a grudge. When people have grudges, it feeds on those people. And those people end up snapping. And then they say these one things. What do they always say? Oh, I blacked out. End up killing someone. A lot of people invite these things into their lives. This thing feeds on people. It feeds on them. It eats them up. I never heard of a chemical imbalance feeding on people. That don't make no damn sense. A chemical imbalance. Somebody who had a perfect life, had all the money, had everything going for them, graduating college, having a master's, being a part of a social club, a president, and all these things, all these great things happening to them, and then all of a sudden they just check out. It makes absolutely no sense. That don't have nothing to do with no chemical imbalance.